Continues its coverage of NASCAR race weekend in Richmond. Tonight it's NASCAR Busch Series racing from the Richmond International Raceway. Big evening of racing just ahead of us here at Richmond. Look at the Busch Championship standings after 27 of the 35 races. Kevin Harvick in a runaway. In fact, the guys behind him are having a fun time with this. Basically, it's running for second with Carl Edwards trying to chase down Kevin Harvick, but he's not going to get there. Harvick's on his way to the championship. We're on our way to Alan Bestwick.
With the man they'll all be chasing at the start of this race, Jeff Burton, riding around the track in a Corvette convertible. Jeff, quick change from your XL Cup car now to your NASCAR Busch Series car. What kind of transition is that for you to start the race?
It's a pretty big change. The Cup cars make so much more power than the Busch cars, and that's the biggest change. And the braking systems are different in each car, so I've got to get adapted to that pretty quickly. But I'm old enough, been doing it long enough that it shouldn't be an excuse anymore. But Hyundai and Chevrolet is pretty good. The theory is we get a lot of short runs in the Busch race, so we set up for short runs. Hopefully we don't get a lot of long ones. All
right, good luck tonight. Jeff Burton starts on the pole. Here's Dave Burns.
With Denny Hamlin now walking up to his race car. Let's get out of the line of traffic here. The line of cars taking us around. Denny just qualified on the pole for the NASCAR Nextel Cup race tomorrow night. Does that give you motivation and perhaps a little momentum going to tonight's Busch race?
I think so. I mean, our car's pretty good. I think it's good enough to run top 5. We got a long road to hoe to catch up with the 17, I think, and Harvick in 29. So, maybe things go our way. We might have a shot at winning this one.
Hometown boy has already done good. He looks for more tonight. To Marty Snyder.
And I'm with Kevin Harvick, Dave, and I guess we'll chat to Kevin Harvick now, who the last 2 times he's raced this car, it's won. So has this car got another win in it tonight, Kevin?
I hope so. Our U.S. Coast Guard Reserve Chevrolet has been good in practice, and it's been obviously pretty good both times we've raced it. So just have to keep up with the racetrack tonight and try to not keep it too tight and not keep it too loose. You got to see where the racetrack goes here. So it's one of those guessing games, but we'll hopefully make some good adjustments and go from there.
Kevin was a little coy the last 2 times he ran this race car. He said it was okay in practice. So him saying it's pretty good, that means a lot, Bill.
You bet it does, Marty. Thanks a lot. The car is lined up along pit road. 250 laps coming up here at Richmond. The pre-race ceremonies are next on TNT. TNT Sports live at the Richmond International Raceway in Virginia, getting ready for NASCAR Busch Series racing. Let's take you trackside and join the pre-race ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the 49th Quartermaster Group from Fort Lee presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Pastor John Bryant of Mechanicsville Baptist Church delivers tonight's invocation.
Our gracious Heavenly Father, we ask as we gather here tonight that you protect the drivers and the crew members as they race. We just thank you so much, Father, that we live in such a wonderful country. We thank you that you love us so much that you would send Jesus to be our Savior. We lift up to you the men and women of our armed forces who are around the world serving us and protecting our way of life. Thank you, Father, for all you do for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
And now please welcome the 392nd Army Band from Fort Lee performing the national anthem.
Just ahead, one of the most exciting nights of the NASCAR Busch Series season. 16 guys in this race are also racing tomorrow night. Should be a lot of fun. The Command's next. TNT Sports presents NASCAR. Tonight live from the Richmond International Raceway in Virginia, it's NASCAR Busch Series Racing. Hi everybody, Bill Weber along with Wally Donalback. Thanks for having us in for the race. Our partner Benny Parsons plans to be here tomorrow night for their Chevy Rock and Roll 400 for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. Benny, we know you're watching, but we need you to relax because there's a lot of excitement at this place. You can talk about pit road, you can talk about fuel mileage, you can talk about a lot of things. But the number one thing here, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, let's just talk about racing. This is a great place to race. Short track, they need to build a few more just like this place because it's wide enough you can race. You get a lot of side-by-side action. On the restarts are unbelievable. You get 3-4 wide on the restarts, but this is a racetrack where a short track where you can race side-by-side. And it's a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot of fun to drive, and you also get, once in a while, we'll have a halftime show. A lot of action we saw last year. Martin Truex up on the wall, on the side. I mean, you know, this is what can happen here at Richmond. It's the excitement track.
And you talked about it last week at California. 16 drivers in this race, also competing tomorrow night in the Chevy Rock and Roll 400. Obviously, for those guys, most of them aren't facing a lot of pressure tonight. They're out there to have as much fun as we are.
I think so, because this, like I said, this is a racetrack you come to. You really enjoy racing on this place. It's got 2 grooves, sometimes even 3 grooves. They're just here to have fun.
It's 250 laps of excitement for the fans and for the 43 drivers in the starting grid for tonight's NASCAR Busch Series race. We come to Richmond, we always expect a fun weekend. We've already had a lot of excitement in qualifying and practice. Now we're getting ready to go racing. Let's take you trackside here at Richmond and get the command for tonight's NASCAR Busch Series race.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome our Grand Marshal, President, North America Operations, Emerson Radio Corporation, Mr. Edward Will.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Three cars roar to life on pit road. Jeff Burton will lead them to the green flag, the starting grid, when we come back. NASCAR Busch Series racing from Richmond on TNT is brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series. By Reese's Peanut Butter Cups with caramel. By AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American Dream. And by Allstate, official insurance sponsor of NASCAR. Cars still sitting on pit road after roaring to life just a few moments ago. Here's the starting grid for tonight's Emerson 250 for the NASCAR Busch Series. Jeff Burton on the pole next to Ron Hornaday in the 33 car. Row 2 has Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin. Row 3, Kevin Harvick, and good qualifying run by Todd Cleaver. Drop back to row 4. There's Mike Skinner and Jason Leffler. Reed Sorensen is in row 5 next to Clint Boyer. Carl Edwards in row 6 next to Dave Blaney. And we'll take you through the rest of the starting grid. You take a look at where your favorite driver might be starting, and Wally's going to jump on the radio and see if he can't get Hornaday.
Hey, Ron, this is Wally up in the booth. You hear me?
Got a copy, Wally.
All right, Ron, this is right up your alley. Your kind of racetrack. You got a good starting position. You got a good race car.
Got a real good race car. I got to thank all the guys on this Outdoor Channel Chevrolet. These guys are awesome. I mean, we just got to keep this thing, try to run in the top 10 all night. And I know the guys will do a great job in the pits and get us up here to run with these guys.
Well, it should be fun to watch. Like I said, we're
have a lot of fun watching you on a short track. I don't want to mess up you getting your pit road speed, so good luck tonight.
Get it, guys. Thanks.
There you see the drivers that failed to qualify, and Scott Riggs has to drop to the rear of the field because of unapproved adjustments to that car. I believe they made an engine change on that 9 car as well. It was. Okay, Field's going to get their pit road speed behind the pace car. We're going to go down and get some news from Matt.
Bill, it could be a huge weekend for Matt Kenseth. Now, a couple different goals for Kenseth. First off, he qualified third. That meant he got a great pit stall. He has an opening in front of his pit stall, which will help with his exit. More importantly, he comes in. Yes, he's locked in for the Nextel Cup chase, but he has a 9-point lead over Jimmy Johnson. So this race tonight is more about fun, but yes, it's also about a test session for tomorrow night's race. He wants to leave Richmond as a Nextel Cup points leader, so he has those 5 extra points. Now, tonight he's never won at Richmond. He would love to do that. His record, 13 starts here in Busch. 6 times he has finished either second or third, but never gone to victory lane. Now, he has a great car. He won at Bristol. Would love to make it again a victory lane threat here tonight in Richmond. Marty?
Matt, tonight Greg Biffle will start 24th. I talked to him moments ago. He said, you know what, I really messed up qualifying. Got too high, got some debris on my tires, and really just messed up the entire lap. Now I have to work my way through the field. The goal is to work his way through the field very patiently. But he reminded me, this is a very short race. Right now we have about a 3rd to 5th place car. We'll have to make adjustments on it to make it better. And again, not a lot of time to make those adjustments. Dave?
Marty, everyone in this NASCAR Busch Series is chasing Richard Childress Racing, and it's very fast race cars. I asked Clint Boyer, who's yet to win this year in the 2 car, is it your turn? He said, you know what, I'm not so sure. We were doing a lot of work on the car. I think we're going to have to do some more work during this race to get it just right to beat my teammate and everybody else. Alan?
Dave, I spoke with Carl Edwards just a minute ago. Carl's second in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship. He starts second tonight. I asked him what he hopes for out of this race besides a trip to victory lane. He said, I'd love to see long green flag runs, and I want to see the groove move up into the outside lane. If you look at the racetrack right now, all the rubber is below the first broken white line on the track. Carl says, I want to see the groove widen out, then we can go race for that trip to victory lane later in the evening. Bill?
Thanks, Alan. You guys have a great race down there on pit road. Field still working behind the pace car here. Should get the 1 to go next time by. This always one of the most exciting weekends for the NASCAR circuit. Busch race here under the lights on Friday night, and the Cup race on Saturday night. On board with Kyle Busch. Clint Boyer has an onboard camera tonight. Boyer starts 10th. Kevin Harvick in the 5th position. Getting ready to go. Denny Hamlin on the pole tomorrow night for the NASCAR Nextel Cup race that will determine the field that will chase the championship. Just a beautiful night here in Richmond. There is the possibility of a shower, but that's supposed to move in later tonight, so hopefully we'll get this race in, get the rain out of the way, and then have a big day here tomorrow as well. And you can see from that shot, Jeff Burton's on board. They still have some safety workers and some vehicles on the racetrack. NASCAR Nextel Cup qualifying didn't end that long ago, so still trying to get the track in race conditions. Racing for over $1 million tonight at 250 laps. The pit road speed 40 miles per hour, and you will see somebody stretch that pit window tonight, or at least try to pass that 140 lap mark. And
yeah, track position pretty important at this place.
And something else to keep in mind, and it's in every race, but it just lately it's really come under the microscope, is the pit road speeding penalties. A lot of tickets have been handed out in recent weeks, and these drivers have to be very careful that they get the proper pit road speed, the proper RPM behind the pace car before the race, and then not exceed that when they come down pit road. Kevin Harvick, a lot of success at this racetrack. Driving that 21 car. Beat his buddy Jeff Burton right there. And then got his 2nd straight win. Tonight chases his 3rd straight NASCAR Busch Series win. at Richmond. And as the guys on pit road talked about in the garage area earlier today, everybody talking about the RCR cars. Harvick, Burton, and the extended RCR family in there as well. And it'll be interesting to see how Hornaday runs tonight as well.
I think Ron's going to run pretty good tonight. He runs good at this racetrack. This has been his best qualifying spot in a long time, so he is looking good.
Starting outside the front row, the lights are out on the pace car. Field has gotten the 1 to go. Get the green when they come back. 250 lap here at Richmond, and it goes by in a hurry. See the good crowd here for this race, and it will be packed. Another sellout tomorrow night for the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. Starts here at Richmond, always critical. It's not far from that start finish line to get into turn 1. On the front row, we're ready to go. NASCAR Busch Series Racing live on TNT. Glad you're along. Enjoy the ride.
It's hanging tough on the outside. Burton's trying to push him up high in the racetrack, trying to get him in the marbles a little bit.
We're going to find out how slick that turn is. Car in the wall already.
Kevin Grubb.
And it didn't take long. Window nut is down. And heavy damage.
He's got some damage on that left rear. Yeah, he's going to get run into by, and somebody, he had to check up for the guys in front of him. I believe that was Regan Smith in front of him that he had to check up for, and Kenny Wallace just drilled him.
He just ran all over him.
Only took 1 lap. First caution is out at Richmond. You're watching NASCAR live on TNT. And we're all looking forward to that right now. NASCAR Busch Series Racing under caution. Matt Kenseth on pit road. Matt?
Middle of the field giving the 1 to go. Kenseth had a tire going down. Wasn't sure if it was the right rear or the left rear. He pulled up alongside Kevin Harvick. Harvick thought that the right rear was about halfway down. Not exactly sure, so they're going to go all 4 tires, put a set of scuffs on the 17 car. Lucks are on, and he's away.
Don't speed, whatever you do.
So he gives up a top 5 position and will come out at the very back of the field. The 25 car, Ashton Lewis Jr. is also on pit road. And we have our first speeding ticket of the night. Goes to the 25.
Well, better now than under green.
That's
if
right.
he would have done that under green, he would have, Matt Kenseth would have lost a lap or more.
So Matt's got his work cut out for him. We go back to green. And Hornaday's going to try and work inside of Jeff Burton. Couldn't get there. Hornaday is the type of driver that can really irritate you. Hornaday is the kind of guy.
Like you, Bill.
Yes.
You irritate a lot of people, and you're right. Now, what Ron will do is he'll look, he'll fake. He's getting past right now, but
Harvick.
But you're right. He's one of those guys that you look in the mirror and he'll just try to wear you out.
Right. So now the 29 of Burton, the 21 of Harvick, then Hornaday. And that Denny Hamlin guy in fourth.
He's from around here.
Yes, he is. And look at this. This is what Richmond's all about right here.
This is what we were talking about. Side by side, you've got Boyer and Skinner there in the 12 car on the outside. Mike had a good qualifying run today.
Kyle Busch in the 5.
41 car, Reed Sorensen on the inside. There goes the 32 with Dave Blaney.
It's on board with Kyle Busch. J.J. Yaley in the 18.
Kyle was thinking about going 3 wide, but decided, you know what, I'll let this sort out maybe 1 more lap. Blaney does get the spot from Skinner. Now he's going to work on Skinner. Skinner's just wanting to get to the bottom.
Busch takes the position, tries to pull away. 4 on the 5 from Dave.
And a good day for Kyle Busch would be to move forward and not to stop. He doesn't know if he can beat the Richard Childress cars, but the car hasn't been that great. They're hoping to have hit on something for the start of this race and to keep making improvements and work Kyle up through the field.
Yeah, you're gonna be changing the car through the whole. Well, you only got so many pit stops to work with, but you've got to get it right. But definitely these next adjustments are going to be real important when these guys hit pit lane for their pit stop. Skinner's still on the outside, getting past. 88 of
Huffman.
Huffman is taking a look, trying to make that move. Shane's got a little bit on him going into 1. But that's what we talked about. It's what's so cool about this place. It's a short track, and you can run side by side every single lap. There's a lot of room to do that.
There's more of it. Sorensen and Boyer. And you want to see this because you want that high groove to wear in.
Exactly. There you see the, well, I think that lead was just for points because Burton pulled over. Harvick led that lap, got the bonus points like he needs them, and gave it right back to Burton.
How about those teammates, AB?
Yeah, as we check out a race between Denny Hamlin and Ron Hornaday, with Hamlin moving up a spot in that 20 car. When I rode around the track with Jeff Burton in the Corvette convertible before we came on the air, Bill, he was pointing out to me the racetrack. He said, look at that broken white line, the first one up on the speedway. He said, there's no rubber above that line. We need to see if we can work some of that in tonight. We need to see if the upper lane will come in. That'll help us for the next Nextel Cup race tomorrow night. It'll also help us pass if we have to tonight. So Jeff Burton trying to keep an eye on nudging that groove out a little wider as this race goes on. Marty?
Alan, meantime, his teammate Kevin Harvick wasn't so excited about going high line early. He said, you know what? I know that wasn't there in Cup Series practice. It never came in. I tried to run into my Cup Series car. It was way too loose, had no grip up there. So he's going to stick to the bottom line early in the racetrack and then try to move up later in the race.
And you see Dave Blaney taking a spot away from the 2 car of Clint Boyer. Blaney's got a good little ride tonight. Working his way up. He's in 8th spot right now.
And he made that move to the inside where more of that grip is.
Oh, I think this groove will move out by the time this race is over. Always does during the Busch races. Just gets, once your tires go off, you start sliding higher and higher in the corners. You're going to work that groove in whether you want or not.
Hornaday in 4th in the 33. Jason Leffler in the 38 wants it. Moves to the inside. This is off of 2 now down the backstretch.
Not going to be as easy as he thinks.
No.
Hornaday's tough to get by, although Leffler's got the car down on the bottom. We'll see if he can. You got to really be up next to the guy getting off of turn 2. If not, that guy coming on the high side 2 is going to have a little bit more momentum getting off the corner. You see Leffler ducks underneath, but then the 33 will just drive away getting off the corner.
Dave, how about it?
This is a good time for Ron Hornaday to experiment with that high line through the corners. He hasn't raced a Nextel Cup car here this weekend, so his crew reminded him the high line was coming in the final practice for the Busch or for the Nextel Cup cars and during Nextel Cup qualifying. Ron said, I know that. Jason Leffler looks quicker right now. He's willing to concede the inside line on the outside just to see if he can make it work.
Hornaday hanging on. Let's talk about turn 2 here. Is it more slick than the rest of the racetrack?
Oh, I think it is. I think the way you have to have the car roll through the center. You get in the corner here, you roll through the center, and you want to jump on the gas. Now, if your car's a little bit tight, that wall comes at you in a hurry. And it's just hard to get off that corner. And if your car turns too well in the center, then it wants to get loose off of 2. So I think 2 is the hardest place to get grip sometimes.
Jeff Burton, the race leader, 46 NASCAR Busch Series races here at Richmond, 27th at this 250 lap distance. Second caution of the evening is out for, yes, the 77 of Bernie Lamar.
Turn 2, I believe, was the problem.
Yes.
Did I mention it's a little bit slippery over there?
I think you said it could be.
You see 4th on the screen, although he may have gotten a little bit of help.
Ooh.
By Mr. Jamie McMurray in the 64 car.
And look, somebody's been there before. Backs into the safer barrier.
He got hit pretty hard, too, before he hit the wall hard. Okay, here they come. Time for those adjustments.
Just 25 laps in. Marty?
Kevin Harvick a little bit earlier than they really wanted to pit, but they came because their teammate Jeff Burton came down pit road. He said chassis-wise, you know, it's pretty good and in and off. Really don't need to do much to it at all, Dave.
Denny Hamlin's car would only handle right if he could take a particular line on the racetrack. Tight race car. Wedge adjustment to help that 4-tire change. Alan.
The leader, Jeff Burton, is in, complaining that his car did not cut in the center of the corner as well as he needed it to, so they're going to make a chassis adjustment to try and help with that. Wow, a little bit of overflow water coming out of that car's engine as well. 4-tire change here for Jeff Burton, and he will not win the race off pit road. He's going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe more spots.
A long stop for them, Alan, you're right. Jason Leffler did not come down pit road. Was 5th when the caution came out, stayed on the racetrack. He scored as the race leader. Half a lap from going green here at Richmond. Jeff Burton restarts in 13th, and here's why. Watch his pit stop.
You know, watch the front tire changer. Watch this guy right here when he comes back across the front of the car after he changes the right front tire. He gets hung up a little bit here. Then they drop the car and they come around, and the hose gets caught. Mistakes like that, Bill, can be very, very costly, especially tomorrow night.
Back to green. Jason Leffler in the 38, Matt Kenseth in the 17 did not pit. Kenseth stopped under the first caution because of a tire going down. They run first and second.
Mike Wallace is in third. Ted Musgrave in the 4th spot in that 14 car, right there on the outside.
Dave Blaney had to restart at the tail end of the longest line because of a tire out of the box when he left his pit stall.
Sorry, Jay Sauter trying to get that spot away from Musgrave, but Musgrave fighting back on the outside. And he is going to hold that spot for now. What do you got, Matt?
Wally, when pretty much most of the field hit pit road, Jason Leffler quietly keyed his mic and said, "It feels awfully lonely out here." He's one of the few cars to roll down the front stretch. Crew chief Todd Losey told him, "I think we will be just fine. It was not a bad decision, but we will have to call an audible for our pit strategy for the rest of the night as Kenseth goes by to retake the lead here." Now the car is good for Leffler, just a little loose on late exit.
Well, that second caution, a huge break for Matt Kenseth. And now he has the race lead here at Richmond. Now there is a mess behind these guys. This is just part of it. There's Burton in the 29 trying to make his way back to the front after the pit stop that Wally showed you. Hornaday's in there in the 33.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Not much room to go 3 wide here.
You can't do it.
Oh! Hornaday. And that 33 car up the track. Here comes Kyle Busch for a position. Oh! He's into Hornaday. Ron trying to save it. Goes around. Can he keep it out of the wall?
He does.
And the caution is out.
And I think Hornaday came down the racetrack a little bit too far because Kyle was down there. May not know he was down there, but.
And this is a break for Bernie Lamar in the 77. He'd been black flagged because his bumper cover was coming loose.
Watch the 33. He's coming down, and you know, Kyle is there. In fact, he even locked the brakes up, trying to avoid Hornaday.
There's not a lot of time here for the spotter to tell you, especially when you're running in a pack like that, what's going on.
And now that right front fender is beat up pretty bad on that 5 car. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, see if it rubs on a restart.
Our third caution period of the race. Matt Kenseth is the race leader at Richmond live on TNT. Still under caution here at Richmond. NASCAR Busch Series Racing, the Emerson 250. And tomorrow night, the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 for the stars of the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. Matt Kenseth, Jason Leffler, Ted Musgrave, Mike Wallace, Jay Sauter, the top 5. Some interesting things going on pit road. We heard that David Rudiman came down pit road but couldn't find his pit stall. He's in the 6th spot. And there was some contact apparently between the 16 and the 19 during that last caution period on pit road. Now here's on board with Kyle Busch a moment ago. Watch the 33.
It just came down on him. I mean, that's pretty apparent. Kyle Busch has been on the pit road. They've had to pull that right front fender off that right front tire because it was very, very close after that contact.
And Dave Burns reporting that Hornaday had told his crew he had a very loose race car.
Green.
Hornaday restarts 41st.
That's where Kenseth was a little while ago.
That's right.
He's leading.
Leffler and Ted Musgrave. Here comes Harvick. Side of Sauter. Burton behind him in the 29.
Boy, and Harvick's car just, I mean, when you can roll through the center like that, you're going to pass a lot of cars here at Richmond. I mean, you see these guys running side by side, struggling lap after lap, and then you see somebody like Harvick go to the bottom and just roll past them.
Again, Rudiman in that 99 came down pit road, but missed his stall, so just went right on through, came out 5th. Dropped back to 8th. Whoa.
A little contact there, it looked like.
It's J.J. Yaley in the 18.
Whoa!
A little more contact right there.
Yaley got into the back of the 99 there, I believe. Rudiman got him a little bit sideways, stacked everything up behind him.
Boy, and you do mean everything, don't you? Marty, you got the 99 tonight?
I do indeed, Bill. I watched him miss his pit stall on pit road. And Wally, it doesn't help when you can't hear the crew, does it, to find your pit stall? Or to know when people are behind you, does it? And what happened, the earplugs for David Rudiman fell out of his ears. He forgot to put tape over top of them before the race started. So when they do finally pit, he's going to get a piece of tape so he can secure those in there. But he's having a lot of trouble hearing the crew. When you can't hear your spotter at Richmond, that's probably not a good thing, is it, Alan?
Oh, especially when you're racing side by side and somebody's trying to get up to the inside. These cars can be tough to see out of. That's J.J. Yaley in the 18 trying to put a pass on David Rudiman there. Yaley, his crew put a 4-tire change on their pit stop a little while ago. Yaley came on the radio under the caution, said, I feel like that helped. He's trying to move up.
What did Marty say?
Said something about not being able to hear, but I didn't hear what he said.
Well, if your earplugs fall out of your head, which that's happened to me once before, it hurts. I mean, these cars are loud. When you lose your earplugs like that, and they don't, you know, they just kind of pop out of your ear a little bit, it hurts when you're running these RPMs.
Can you get how do you get it back in?
I don't know how you do. I don't think you can. Not with the gloves and the Hans device and the way these seats are around the helmets. I mean, that's going to be tough.
We'll have Marty tell us, and maybe we'll be listening. Maybe we'll be able to hear him.
Possibly. See, Boyer is working on the 99 now of Rudiman.
And you're going on the assumption he has no spotter, like Alan was alluding to.
Right.
On board with Boyer. It's Rudiman in the 99.
He knows he's under them now. He doesn't need a spotter right now, but
Boyer takes the position. Back up front, Kevin Harvick looking inside of Matt Kenseth.
Not even a contest, I'm telling you. 21 car is on rails again. Oh, we got somebody way sideways coming off before the 90 car.
Hey, Marty.
I'm not listening to you, Weber.
I'm going to tell you, Kevin Harvick's leading, if you can believe that.
I can believe that. And what they did, they debated on making no changes on the last stop. Harvick said it was just a little too tight for him, middle of the corner off, so they did do a little bit of a wedge adjustment on the left side, trying to get that car to turn a little bit better. Obviously, that very small quarter round of wedge worked. Harvick turning awfully well and was able to pass the 17. As you said, Bill, I do listen. He's in the lead.
Thank you, Snyder. Now this is David Gilliland in the car that Stephen Light had been driving. They wanted to put Gilliland in it this weekend to get him more laps, and he's got an issue.
This is what I was doing on about. I'm sorry, you have to watch it later, but he came off a 4 and he was all out of shape, getting run into, getting run over. Now he hit that left front fender really bad, and it's rubbing on that left front when he gets on the brakes getting into the corners. Watch as it drops down. It's just smoking that tire a little bit. So I don't know, Dave, if they're going to be able to hang on to that, or they're going to have to come in and change it.
Yeah, they've told David Gilliland about that. That contact with Regan Smith did most of the damage there. They said major tire rub, David. Be careful.
Matt Kenseth going to lose a position to Jeff Burton. That's second. Burton runs second, Kenseth is third, but Kevin Harvick, the championship leader, is the race leader at Richmond. Enter the BK Race to the Glory fantasy game. You could win a trip for two to the Atlanta race next spring. The game is free to play. Go to NASCAR.com during the week and register. What's that, Carl Edwards?
That's Carl Edwards' right front rotor. Watch when he goes in. Hard on the brakes, sparks come off, gets really red, really cool looking. I mean, you wonder why those things aren't melting. They're so hot. But you don't get much of a break on your brakes here. I mean, you're on them hard, you're kind of on them, not a long time, but you're on them for a while. Then you don't have much straightaway to cool them off.
Car around here on the front stretch.
Keep her coming.
Scott Wimmer.
Spot right there. No yellow yet, no yellow.
We stayed green.
Keep her coming. Keep her coming.
I think that surprised a few folks. Harvick, the race leader. Skinner in the 12, right in front of him. The 90 of Gilliland.
Yeah, he was underneath Rudeman. Got on the gas. He started to drift up the racetrack. He turned the wheel to keep it off Rudeman so he wouldn't wreck him and spun himself out.
That's a nice piece of work right here.
Yep.
Gets it pointed in the right direction. Right of the flag stand. And now the caution is out for debris in turn 2. Well, this will put some of these teams in an interesting situation.
Skinner dodged a bullet there. Not sure if he stayed on the, or he's a lucky dog, so he just got passed by leader Kevin Harvick.
Ron Hornaday has marched his way up to 25th after having to restart back about 41st after the contact with Kyle Busch.
I think they'll come behind us, but
and now you got to figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for the leader anyway.
And this is how Harvick.
trying to figure out if we want to pit or not. There's 2 sets of tires left, right?
Tire sets are limited in the NASCAR Busch Series, but this is what cost Harvick the race here in the spring. Their pit strategy. He stayed out. Everybody behind him came and got tires, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. raced on to the win.
I think he would stay out here.
Whatever Harvick does, the other guys are going to do.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the guys are going to come in. If, like you said, you are limited.
Let all stacking up behind you to come in.
Or they're trying to make you believe they're coming in. Leffler, the first one, Matt.
Bill, he stayed out when most of the leaders pitted. The 17 of Kenseth, he was waiting to see what the leaders did. He stayed out. Leffler's car just losing the handle, tight on entry, desperately loose on exit, needs grip, significant air pressure adjustment, and they've made a track bar adjustment for the 38 car. AB?
Well, last time they came down pit road, Paul Menard's team only took right side tires. They're going to get a 4-tire change this time. Going to pull a rubber out of the right front spring, looking to help this car turn a little bit better in the center of the corner and make the run off the turns to be competitive down the straightaways. You see the crew working around the left side, and Menard is down and gone.
Harvick Burton, Kenseth, Hamlin, Boyer, Yaley, Sorensen staying out under caution here at Richmond. You're watching the NASCAR Busch Series on TNT. NASCAR Busch Series racing on TNT is brought to you by FreeCreditReport.com. Log on to FreeCreditReport.com and get the score. By clean, efficient, reliable propane. Propane exceptional energy. By Stonebridge Life Insurance. Plan ahead with Stonebridge Life Insurance Company. And by TGI Fridays Restaurants, now with 7 radically different appetizers. Everyone could use more Fridays. We're enjoying our Friday here at the Richmond International Raceway in Virginia. The field has gotten the 1 to go, coming around to get the green flag this time. The 9 car had to make a return visit to pit road. Riggs was missing a lug nut. So now we're on 2 different strategies. The guys that just stopped and the guys that stopped about 30 laps earlier. Harvick, Burton, Kenseth, Hamlin, Boyer, Yaley up front. "36 cars on the lead lap. Kenny Wallace in that 22. Sorensen in the 41.
Yep, Kenny is 1 lap down. 22 car, he's in 39th spot. Trying to get up there to be the first car a lap down so he could get the lucky dog if the yellow were to come out.
And he's thinking about making it 3 wide. That's difficult to do down there.
Or bring the yellow out himself. But he is now the first car 1 lap down. So he's in position for it anyway.
And as we watch this, going back to that camera, looking at Carl's brakes, that's not necessarily something to be concerned about tonight, but another issue we'll have to watch for tomorrow night in a 400-lap race here.
Absolutely. The race is a little bit longer tomorrow night, and can abuse the brakes. And if your car's working really good, you don't need as much brake. You use more brake here if your car's not handling well.
Kevin Harvick leads. Let's take you through the field. Here's Martin.
Bill Harvick is going for his 3rd straight Richmond Busch Series win. He would tie a record with Harry Gant. Always cool to own a record with Harry Gant. Harvick said he would love to do that. The chassis-wise, though, they're a little bit too tight, but he said, I can't stand to lose much more rear grip. That's a problem because fixing one affects the other. Alan got trouble.
33 in the wall, hard.
The 0-1 goes around. This is off the turn 4.
What happened there?
That was another deal where guys were checking up in front of him, and Hornaday checked up, and he just got clobbered.
Dude, I can't even move. Who checked up? It was whoever was right in front of you stopped for no reason. I mean, nothing was going on.
Net down on Hornaday. Jay Sauter in the 0-1.
Menard just checked up, and the 0-0 of Johnny Sauter just pounded the 33 car of Ron Hornaday.
Yeah, he just stopped, and there was nothing going on in front of him.
Watch the 11 car, he's just slowing down.
Here's what happened, guys.
Yeah.
The 11 car jumped out of gear.
That's, yeah, it looks like he's having some kind of problems there. But, man, he got hit hard. Then hit the wall harder.
So they work to get Hornaday out of his car. Jay Sauter has driven away under caution once again at Richmond. Feel the race like never before in 360 degrees of full surround sound. Get ready to hear the big picture, because the only way to experience the full impact of HD is with TNT Sports and Sony HD Audio. Kenny Wallace in the 22 car is the lucky dog. And Ron Hornaday is anything but lucky. You see the cleanup crews still on the racetrack. Kevin Harvick leads Jeff Burton, Matt Kenseth, Denny Hamlin, and Clint Boyer.
Harvick is going to need to win just to pay for all the damage of his other cars tonight.
tough being an owner, isn't it?
Woo.
Field still behind the pace car. Always a lot of things happening on the track here at Richmond. Guys fighting for positions from first all the way back to 41st. Now here's an example of that. On board with Clint Boyer, Jaley in the 18, and David Rudiman in the 99. And here comes another little bump. So I don't think Jaley was happy with the 99 and let him know it. Then he got loose again. Allen.
Well, J.J. Jaley came on his radio after he regrouped from that contact and told his crew, "I killed the right front fender." They have had a look at it. Jaley, you see, running 6th position right now. They had the crew up on the wall on this caution flag. Then at the last second, sent him back out onto the racetrack, told him not to pit. And so he holds his track position for now. Matt?
And Alan, we've caught up with Ron Hornaday just walking out of the Infield Care Center. You look okay, Ron, but boy, what a hard hit.
That's a shame. Wally and the guys in the Outdoor Channel car, you know, everything happened so quick. The 5 car got into me and I had to go to the back, and we started coming up through there. We got a really, really good car, and I just hate it for Kevin Delaney. These guys work so hard, and it sounded like the 11 car jumped out of gear and the 78 got in the back of me, but it was a hard hit.
Thanks, Ron.
That is a hard hit. How about that damage on the 18?
That's what happens sometimes when you lose your temper. You know, it's fun getting somebody back, but then if you have to pay for it the rest of the race, then you have second thoughts about, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Jaley in the 6th position.
But it's still fun getting people back. I just want to make that clear.
Do you know that from experience? Pace car to pit road. Harvick in control. Here we go. Gilliland in the 90 got a little loose, maybe spun the tires there. One laps complete already, 5 caution flags. Kenseth in the 17 trying to work around the lap traffic.
This year, 1 car, Jay Sauter, he got a piece of that wreck with Horn today. Doesn't look like, he just looked like he got spun around. He didn't really hit anything.
Jay's back in the 37th spot, 1 lap down. Jaley in that 18 runs 6th. Leffler, Lamar, 16 a Greg Biffle.
A lot of shoving going on right now.
Blaney in the 32.
A little bit sideways there, getting off the corner for Jerry Robertson. Blaney goes underneath him. John Andretti goes above him.
Just can't get over the rookie stripe on the back of Andretti's car.
I'm not sure anybody really thinks he's a rookie, but
got to go by the rules, though.
Yeah, rules are rules.
Yeah. Not that you ever did.
They're made to be broken. Harvick has got it under control, Marty.
Yes, he does, Wally, and Harvick's got it out front, trying to win his 3rd straight Richmond race, as we said earlier. Car just a little bit too tight from the middle of the corner off. He would like for it to turn a little bit better, but so far, he's been able to keep his teammate behind him. Alan?
Well, earlier you saw the pit stop at lap number 26 and saw Jeff Burton fall all the way back to 13th position. He was the leader of the race up until that point. He has worked his way back up to 2nd spot, chasing his teammate Kevin Harvick right now. Not quite fast enough to challenge him for the lead, Matt.
Alan, Matt Kenseth has such an impressive record here at Richmond. 13 Busch Series starts, 11 top 10 finishes. Currently runs in the 3rd position. And they stayed out back on lap 65. Didn't want to give up all that track position. And 12 cars behind them stayed out. The car a little loose on exit, but really tight in the center.
Dave Rogers for the 20 car of Denny Hamlin told me, you know what, I love my driver because he's a student of this game. He learns something every week. At the end of each race, he says, hey, I learned this. And he applies it the next week as we have a battle for the lead. It's Jeff Burton who's going to go by his teammate again. As for Denny Hamlin tonight, what he's learning about his race car is it's tight. It's hard to control in that 20. And the 2 of Clint Boyer putting a lot of pressure on him right now. Boyer right behind in the 2 car has been complaining tonight about his race car. In the last pit stop, they were able to make a change a little bit tight at the end of the run for Clint last time, Alan.
Told you about J.J. Yaley and that right front fender damage. Yaley started this race back in 15th position. He's moved up to 6th right now, running alongside Jay Sauter in that 0-1 car. Yaley last pitting back at lap 26 with the rest of the leaders and looking to hold on to that lead group. Behind Yaley is Reed Sorensen in the 41. Now Sorensen had some contact on the track earlier as well. Thought he caved in the right front fender on that Dodge. His crew chief Brian Patty had a look at it though. The spotter on the roof did as well. Said, nah, looks okay to me. Matt?
Jason left on a little bit different pit strategy than the other drivers up front. They stayed out when they pitted, then he finally pitted. They had a good opportunity to see how the competition reacted with sticker, brand new tires. Leffler said they didn't feel like it helped the 21 of Harvick and the 29 of Burton as much as many expected. The biggest problem for the 38 car, just too tight in the center. Alan?
Thought Carl Edwards would move up a little quicker than he has so far in this race. He's only picked up a couple of spots in the opening laps. Carl running 9th now. He started in the 11th position. Really complaining about his car's handling right there in the center of the corner. It's hurting his ability to get back on the gas. Marty?
Alan, these Virginia boys seem to love this racetrack. Danny O'Quinn, what a terrific run for this young man. From 31st to 11th position so far for O'Quinn. His car just a little bit too loose right now. Actually, he's in 10th. I cheated him in one spot. He's lacking some grip off the rear corners. Other than that, he wants to fix that on the next stop. Pitted on lap 25. His car was too tight then, so they've been on both sides of the fence. Hopefully they'll hit the middle. Alan? Paul Menard did confirm on his team's radio that his car did jump out of gear that caused him to slow in that corner, resulting in the Ron Hornaday crash we saw a little while ago. Menard, the first off pit road on that last series of stops at lap 66, and he has picked his way back up through the traffic to the 11th spot.
It looks like Blaney's going to take that 11th spot from him. He's down on the bottom in that 32 car.
Got it. For now.
Menard kind of got hung up there behind traffic. Or no, Danny Quinn actually is in that's for position, that 50 car. He's in 11th spot.
Danny O'Quinn back in that 50 car this week. They're sitting it out a week ago.
All the way through the middle, into the middle, through the middle, up off.
That would be tight through the middle, through the corners.
That was Harvick.
Yeah.
Harvick has fallen 1.7 seconds behind Jeff Burton. An update on the 32 from Dave.
Passing all these race cars, Bill. Remember, he restarted after a penalty 41st. He's stopped 2 times tonight. They've made adjustments on the race car both times, but he's passed a lot of race cars coming up through the field.
That's what makes this track so much fun to watch. There's enough room to race here. You get the excitement of Bristol and the opportunity to see the guys race as well. Jeff Burton's last 4 finishes here. Oh, how about 2nd, 3rd, 9th, and 1st? And he leads tonight.
A sudden turn of events for Jeff Burton, who was the race leader here in Richmond International Raceway. A flat right front tire. He's just come down pit road, got right side tires only, and gone back onto the racetrack. He was the leader. He's not now.
Falls. He almost got in the middle of a wreck.
Sure did.
Carl Edwards was big time sideways off the corner. I think he had some help on that, but and Burton is not even the lead or the first car a lap down. He's got to get by Jay Sauter in the 01 car.
Burton now 36th, from 1st to 36th. This is the battle for 2nd. Hamlin is 2nd, Leffler 3rd. Sauter in that 0-1 is the first car a lap down. And if you're Jeff Burton, you're thinking, I sure hope that doesn't happen tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Burton, one of the guys trying to make the chase for the Nextel Cup, but in a very dangerous situation in the championship standings.
Boy, Jay's giving these guys fits.
Sure is.
But he's got to go too. He's got the 29 in his mirror. And he's about a straightaway ahead of Jeff Burton.
So he not only gets around those guys, but puts more lap traffic between himself and Burton. Meanwhile, Hamlin and Leffler continue to battle. Now Leffler falls in behind, thinks about darting to the inside. Fall back and find the 29 car. There's Burton. So he's got a lot of work to do. 36th, second car, one lap down. Johnny Sauter in the 00. See if Burton can march his way back to the front. An update on the 29 of Burton from Allen.
Well, Bill, just to kind of give some pictures to what you were talking about tomorrow night. You see, trouble on the track.
Caution is out.
There's Ashton Lewis Jr. in the 25. The 72 car, Stanton Barrett. And I think the 19 was involved in that as well.
Almirola.
Steering's not messed up.
But the front is. Sauter working hard for it in that 0-1. Jay got the free pass.
Now that will put Jeff Burton up next to his teammate on the restart.
Depending how they come off of pit road if they decide to stop.
Yeah. 25 car got loose getting into the corner. You can see he had the tires and the wheels corrected to the right, and he just slid up into the 19 car.
They're on pit road. Matt?
Leffler now pitting the same sequence with the leader's car. Really strong into the last adjustments. He finished this run in the second position. The car, though, was starting to get a little tight near the end. Marty.
Kevin Harvick's car just will not turn. He comes to pit road as the leader. A round out of left rear and wedge, and a pound out of left rear tire, trying to loosen the car up, Dave.
Same thing needed for Denny Hamlin's car. 3 rounds up on the track bar. 4 tire change to try to get it to turn better. Allen.
Paul Menard is on pit road in this 11 car. You see it's going to be a 4-tire change as they continue to try and hold their track position a little bit up front. I thought he might stay on the track this time to try and gain some spots strategically, but they chose to come down pit road.
Yeah, I thought some other guys might stay out too, Allen as well. But they decided to come to pit road. 113 laps are complete in the Emerson 250 at the Richmond International Raceway in Virginia. Approaching the halfway mark in tonight's NASCAR Busch Series race, Richmond International Raceway in Virginia. The stars of the Busch Series on the track tonight. Tomorrow night, stars of the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series for 400 laps here at Richmond. There's Jeff Burton. Allen, you were saying?
Was talking about what caused the tire failure on Jeff Burton's car and how it caused a little bit of a convention down here in the back of the 29 team's pit. Had the crew chief for Jeff Burton's Nextel Cup car, Kevin Harvick's Nextel Cup car, had Doug Richard, crew chief for Greg Biffle's Nextel Cup car, and a couple of other people have come in. Goodyear engineers have been here huddled over that tire. They've also looked over the right front tire that just came off the Burton car a second ago. And there's been conversations going back and forth on the radio with Jeff about that as well. The only thing for sure they know is they don't believe that the brake heat melted the bead on the tire where the tire meets the metal rim on the car, but they're still trying to decipher that here as Jeff Burton pits again under this caution flag.
And they're going to look at that right front one more time, Allen.
Yeah, just get an update from the team. They're going to pull the right front tire off, Bill, and make sure that nothing's rubbing the inside of the tire on the car. So they don't necessarily think that it's something that's that got the tire from the racetrack or the brake heat melting the bead. So now they want to make sure they don't have anything rubbing
He gonna lose another lap?
Yeah, he is. I don't want to make sure they don't have anything rubbing there underneath the race car.
That's not what they had in mind.
No, that's not exactly what they had in mind, and they lost 2 laps doing that. That was... They had a great shot at getting that lap back on this restart because those guys hadn't pitted up there. He's on new tires, and he could have got his lap back, but that's not what they wanted.
Coming to get the green this time, Scott Wimmer, Ted Musgrave, Mike Skinner, Casey Atwood, Jamie McMurray did not pit. Dave Blaney in the 32, a 2-tire stop. He runs 6th. Here we go.
Thought this was going to get ugly.
Harvick restarted in 7th in the 21 car, and it might.
It still might get ugly. There we go. Musgrave on the outside, the 14 car takes the lead from Wimmer. They are stacked up behind him.
You've got fast cars on fresh tires behind these guys.
Harvick's one of them.
There's Harvick in the 21. Jeff Burton has scored 39th, 2 laps down.
That's Skinner right there in front of the 21 car of Harvick. Harvick is going to pass him.
This is for 3rd.
And Harvick's going to pretty much pick these guys off fairly easy. If he's patient, it's not going to be too tough. Marty.
Wally, as you can imagine, Kevin Harvick is keenly aware of what happened to Jeff Burton as Denny Hamlin scrapes the wall a little bit. He is very concerned about that because they're running the same air pressures. And Wally, when your teammates run the same air pressures as you and they have a tire go down, that raises your eyebrows a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, the thing that I don't understand is Jeff had been out there for a while. So,
Bernie Lamar is around again. And the caution flag is out. This is going to get uglier before it gets nicer.
Wow, look at the left front of that thing.
Okay, now watch Denny Hamlin, the 20 car, right in the center of your screen there.
I think Denny just gets up a little bit too high, gets a little bit loose, maybe gets in the marbles. They kind of kept it out of the wall, though. And then there's Bernie Lamar, and he just gets loose. And does a little more damage.
Jay Sauter was held 1 lap on pit road after he was a lucky dog for passing the safety vehicles too fast. Put him a lap down. Jay Sauter is the lucky dog again. Half a lap from going green, Brass Eagle, the world leader in paintball equipment, is offering a VIP Nextel Cup race weekend sweepstakes. Visit brasseagle.com/TNT for more details. Going back to green, Ted Musgrave, the race leader. And he's trucking. Had to get that in.
Yeah, sorry. He's coming. He better get in while he can, because Harvick is sitting there in 3rd spot right now.
And we heard from pit road that Wimmer had told Harvick, be careful on the restart because I'm not very good. And meanwhile, Jeff Burton, we can tell you right now, taking his car behind the wall back to the NASCAR Busch Series garage area. They want to find out what caused that.
90 car, David Gillen there. He's a lap down. He's trying to get a lap back. You better hurry.
That Harvick guy's right there again. It's his 2nd past Wimmer. Hey, Matt, how about Musgrave?
Great run going by Ted Musgrave and the 14 team, as well as the 12. His teammate Skinner, now Musgrave, had to serve a penalty earlier in the race, a commitment cone violation. Had to go to the tail end of the longest line, and then he stayed out for track position. The car, not bad, a little too free. They made an air pressure adjustment. They know they have to stop one more time. That's why they stayed out, as he's battling side by side with the 21 of Harvick.
And Hart's going to take the position and go back to the lead. Marty.
Bill, now he has the lead. He's out front. He has a car that will not turn as well as he would have liked. And there you go, another caution.
Sorry, Marty.
Every time we go to Marty, something happens. Let's not go to Marty anymore.
And it's happened during the race, too. That's David Gilliland.
He was trying to get that lap back.
He's racing hard. Again, he's in that car because Doug Yates was talking in the garage area this morning. They want to get David some more laps. It's tough to take a 19-year-old and tell him, Stephen Light, that you're not going to race at Richmond, but they want to get Gilliland the laps. And Jason Leffler gave him an added lap. And a lot of traffic coming from behind. And the caution is out again. Our 7th caution period of the race, and we're just past halfway. Green flag is out. Go back to racing at Richmond after our 8th caution of the night. Kevin Harvick is the race leader. Ted Musgrave in that 14 right behind him.
Kyle Busch in the 5 car takes a spot from Leffler. Now he's working on Wimmer. He'll be 3rd when he crosses the stripe.
How'd you know that? You were right. We watch this unfold and check with Alan,
who is back in the garage with a guy who was leading the race not that long ago, Jeff Burton, and now it appears you're out. What happened?
We had the brake duct bracket broke, and when it broke, then the brake duct would twist and it would cut the right front tire. We could fix it, but we'd be 20 laps down and not racing for points. And a Holiday Inn Chevrolet, we decided not to mess with it. But this car was a rocket. I mean, it was so fast, and such a fun car to drive. I hate that happened, but you know, that's the way stuff goes sometimes. Speed wasn't going to be an issue, that's for sure.
All right, good luck tomorrow.
That's tough for Burton.
Is that Leffler passing Tom back again?
Got it back. Wimmer's right there. Blaney in the 32. There's Kyle.
Hey, Blaney's having a good run tonight.
Yes, he is. And he's fought his way back, too. Had to restart deep in the field. Dave, you got a couple stories for us.
Yeah, as the 5 car gets really loose coming off turn 2 there, both he and the 32 of Dave Blaney are on kind of the same strategy. A 2-tire change last time to save tires. They had to use some early, and both the 32 and the 5 have a clean set of sticker tires and some gently used tires left for the race. Now Kyle way up out of the groove. But the point being, they've got a good set left, and they got some track position by pitting for 2 earlier. And Kyle's losing all that track position now, Bill.
And here comes Matt Kenseth taking up some of that. And there's Rudeman and the 18 of J.J. Yaley back together again. Oh, check that. That was the 5 of Kyle Busch. Matt, you got something on Kenseth?
Bill, even his spotter, Bob Jeffrey, was impressed with that move. He said, hey, that was pretty neat when you saw him go right through the middle there. Now, Kenseth would love to score a win here at Richmond, something he's never done, but he's finished 2nd or 3rd 6 times out of 13 starts. He was starting to lose the right front. Was really glad when we had that caution and he hit pit road. But a lot of teams looking in the lap 170 to 180 window that they would love if the stars and planets were all lined up. They'd love to hit pit road to make it a good run to the finish.
See if that works out. Matt Kenseth has not won here in 13 races, but in his last 8 Richmond races has finished in the top 8.
Blaney,
a couple of seconds and a couple of thirds.
Taking a look underneath 38, takes that spot away. So Dave puts himself in 3rd position right now behind Harvick and Musgrave. Matt, what are they saying about 38?
Well, he was tight near the end of that last run. They made a small air pressure adjustment, Wally. Now, this is the same team that led 66 laps here in the spring. Looked like they were going to have a shot to go to victory lane, then they were caught up in a crash. Leffler was 3rd quick in final practice, had a lot of confidence. As you can see, the 99 started to smoke on the racetrack.
A lot of fluids coming out, David.
Blaney takes over 2nd.
It's Musgrave in the 14. He falls to 3rd. Boy, Rudiman cannot get off the track. Got caught in traffic, tried to get to the inside, still stays out there. And now somebody else. Is that a tire on Andretti? And now the caution flag is out.
My left front fender, I hit that 12.
He hit the 12 of Skinner, put the left front fender under the left front tire. So Rudiman with problems.
Definitely in the front. I don't know what. Or something's going on. I'm coming to you this time. Y'all be careful.
Stanton Barrett in the 72 is the lucky dog. So Rudiman will bring his car to pit road. And here comes Ted Musgrave. Gives up third place.
Uh-oh.
And pit road was closed. So Ted came down pit road too soon.
You guys were talking. Pit road was closed.
Matt?
Bill, not a good deal for the 14 of Musgrave. Not only parking at an angle, almost missed his pit box. His crew waving there that they are complete with service, but he was the only one that hit pit road. And Bill, was the light yellow or green?
It was red, Matt.
Not too good.
And I believe we heard them say on the radio there was too much radio traffic.
Yeah, there was too many guys talking, and I guess they didn't hear that pit road was closed. Pit road is open now, but you can see the light there red right underneath the Sunoco sign there.
And there's the commitment line.
Although really shouldn't have had anything to do with talking. You can see that light pretty easy when you're a driver.
Yep. So now the cars a little deeper in the field come down pit road. Allen?
Well, Carl Edwards has really not been very pleased with the way his car has been driving most of the night. They are going to make the tire change here, and they're going to add some cross weight in the left rear. You see the wedge, the wedge wrench, easy for me to say, being twisted there. Carl, not really a threat to run up front and lead this thing in it at all in this race, and at a place where he runs so well, he thought he would be. So hoping to see if they can not only beef up this car's handling, but maybe stay out when the other guys pit later and get him some track position.
102 laps to go. We'll see how it all plays out. The usual wackiness at Richmond, our 9th caution of the night. Time for our Holiday Inn race recap. The flyover, always exciting at Richmond, and 43 guys taking the green. Bernie Lamar going around and into the wall. The first of a couple for Bernie. Kyle Busch got together with Ron Hornaday. Looked like Hornaday pinched him down a little bit there.
Yeah, Hornaday hits the wall hard coming out of 4 after Paul Menard's car jumped out of gear. Everybody checked up.
Jeff Burton, flat right front tire. They never could quite figure it out. There's our Bernie Lamar encore. And our Holiday Inn race recap should also include that the Holiday Inn car went to the garage. Jeff Burton out of the race. Kevin Harvick, the race leader, and Dave Blaney, who has been charging through the field, in second. Kenseth in third. 99 to go.
Kenseth gets underneath the 32 of Blaney's, trying to take second spot away.
Boy, Blaney will race him hard here, too.
These guys are, Kenseth, Harvick, on a little bit better tires than Dave Blaney. Dave only took 2 tires last pit stop.
Dave on Dave.
And this is his 5th start of the season. It's his 91st Busch Series start, so he's got a little experience with these types of race cars. But that is a Braun racing machine. He's got his Nextel Cup pit crew pitting it, so it's been a good combination for him, and that car is just on tonight.
And the 17 of Kenseth battling that position now. They're hoping that anywhere from lap 180 on, a caution comes out, they would like to hit pit road and make their last stop, so that way they don't have new tires on too early, and that's the same game 38 of Leffler.
So those guys want to get a little deeper into the race before they make their final scheduled stop. The question is, will there be a caution? I'm thinking probably.
Yeah, I would think so.
On board with Harvick. Leads by 1.1 seconds over Kenseth. Blaney in third, then Leffler and Paul Menard the top 5. Marty with an ad on Harvick.
I know how to bring out a caution, Bill. I'll just talk.
It won't be the first time.
I know. Thank you very much. Harvick has been dealing with his biggest problem are his brakes going into the corner. He says he has a bad vibration. Now, he helped that vibration a little bit by dialing in 2 rounds of rear brake. That also helped the chassis. The car was tight when you dial in rear brake. That makes the car just a little bit looser. Harvick says the brake issue's a little bit better, but not much.
Now, sometimes if you have a lot of heat on the front, which it sounds like he did on the front brakes, you'll get a little bit of a warp. You'll start warping those front rotors, and that's where your vibration comes in. So that could be the possibility. That could be the problem that Harvick's got with that car. He took some brake out of the front, put it to the rear, so he's not using the fronts as much. So maybe that helped the vibration a little bit.
You saw that 50 of Danny O'Quinn. He's in 8th. Kurt Busch back to 9th, or Kyle Busch rather, back to 9th. Johnny Sauter in 10th. There's Boyer and J.J. Yaley, and that's for the 6th spot. Yaley's got that right front damage. Boy, you can really see the rotors glow. Yaley up the track a little bit there. Then they fall in single line. There's Carl Edwards in the 60 car.
His rotors. Watch as he goes down in. Gets on hard. They'll really start to glow here.
So somewhere under there is what went wrong with Burton's car,
well,
right?
It's really hard to see.
Especially if you draw it.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be really ugly. But see, these are the hoses right here that are coming off the nose that cool the rotors. And then there's like a carbon fiber piece right in here that's right along the rotor that the air is pushing the air through. What happened was, it sounds like what Jeff said is that thing broke off. And if it broke off somehow, then when you turn the car, that's all really, the clearance wise, is very close to the tires anyway. So if that broke off or any of the hoses come loose or anything, what's going to happen is when you turn the tire, it's going to turn right on top of the hose or that piece of carbon fiber that the hoses are running the air through. If that happens, you're going to easily cut the inside of the tire.
There's a lot of stuff down in there.
There's a lot of stuff in a small area. But as you can see how hot these rotors get, you need to pump as much air to them as possible to try to keep them cool enough to where they'll last the whole race.
Edwards gets the 17th position from Scott Riggs. Everybody chasing Kevin Harvick, who's out front. A 2-second lead over Matt Kenseth. Dave Blaney runs third. Kevin Harvick going for his 3rd straight win at Richmond. Have a need for speed? Win big in the Zantac Need for Speed Instant Win Game. Win a 2007 Ford Mustang, a trip for 2 to Talladega Superspeedway, and meet AmeriQuest racing driver Greg Biffle. The Zantac Need for Speed Instant Win Game. Look for specially marked packages for details. Kevin Harvick continues to run out front, 1.7 seconds in front of Matt Kenseth. Then it's Clint Bowyer, Dave Blaney, and Paul Menard, the top 5. And as predicted in the garage area earlier today, those Childress cars are good. Blaney and Menard.
Blaney's slipped back a couple of spots here in the last few laps.
But he's put himself in a really good position.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be able to pit with the leaders next time, and we've seen he's got a good race car.
And we got a yellow
and
out.
a caution. Hey, Matt Yoakum, you busy down there?
38.
Oh, caught him. Sorry, Matt.
He was trying to count the 35.
No, but he said they wanted 180, and they got 174. Working lap 175.
Close enough?
He's running around down there and getting ready
will
for
tell
pit
us if
stops
it's close
and all
enough.
that. He said all the planets had to be aligned for it to happen. Because these guys wanted a caution with about 70, 75 laps to go. We got 76 to go right now. And it looks like, as Matt predicted, all the planets, at least that one, in their proper positions. Beautiful night here in Richmond. Bernie Lamar is the lucky dog. Hasn't exactly been that kind of night for him, but he got the lucky dog pass. Matt Yoakum.
Jimmy Finnig, the crew chief, got his first Busch win at Bristol a few weeks ago, hoping to pick up another one tonight. Kansas says the car really competitive. They are halfway where they really need to be. They're going to go up another round again on the track bar to try to free the 17 up. Marty?
Leader Harvick said, I could use a little more forward bite, but honestly, I wouldn't do much to this race car, so they decided to do nothing to the race car. 4 tires, no chassis changes. Dave?
That was a great green flag run for Clint Boyer from 9th to 3rd. 4-tire change, no change to the chassis. Alan.
Paul Menard took the green flag in 16th position, running in the top 5 at the time of this pit stop. Good stop by this crew. Got a 4-tire change and an air pressure adjustment.
Boy, it looks like they had an excellent stop. You're right, Alan. We'll sort out the running order when we come back to Richmond under our 10th caution in the Emerson 250 on TNT.
See the film where viewer discretion is highly recommended. Friday at 8, Kill Bill Volume 1. Saturday at 8, Kill Bill Volume 2. And Sunday at 7. See them both back to back. It all starts next Friday night at 8 on TNT.
Field coming to get the green here at Richmond. The top 9 cars did not stop.
You're not getting away with that, Weber.
With what?
If I was going to create a show, that's what it would be.
Thanks, Wally. Jay Sauter and Riggs for 2nd. Greg Biffle is 10th. He took 2 tires. Kevin Harvick restarted 11th. Dave Blaney, who we've been watching, is in 14th. Matt Kenseth restarted 16th. See the ticker at the top of the screen. Riggs working the back bumper of Sauter. 70 to go.
Ted Musgrave up in the thick of things again. At 6th spot in that 14 car, that red and white car on the bottom. That's Skinner in a 12 car that he just took the spot away from.
Wimmer, Sauter, Riggs, Musgrave, Skinner, Atwood, Andretti did not stop.
Biffle in the 16. We haven't talked about him much tonight yet.
2 tires under this caution. There's Harvick.
Oh, it's 3 abreast. It's usually the smart thing to do if you're in the middle is to get on the brakes and get out of that.
Because no matter what, you're going to be involved.
You're going to either get hit or you're going to hit somebody. Or both.
Marty on the Biff.
And we told you guys he was going to work his way patiently through the field. Started the race in 24th, made his way up to the top 10, then had a problem. Then they went back to 34th. Now has made his way back up to the top 10. Nicky Biffle has had really a good car all night long. It's been a little bit loose, but he's worked his way very patiently through the field, now battling side by side with Kevin Harvick.
And Harvick squeezes by. That's right, not for long. See you, Marty. They just went right around Ted Musgrave.
I was going to say, yeah, there hasn't been much side by side with Harvick tonight, unless he's going past you. Oh, we got a spin in the front stretch. Oh, Boyer.
Clint Boyer, 4th in the championship standings.
Go ahead, Dan.
And this would be caution number
18 or
11.
somebody hit the 27 and come down on you, I think.
See, he's not very happy.
I think the CD must have started skipping or something.
All right, let's take a look. There's Yaley on the outside. There's a little bit of rubbing going on there. Yaley gets in the 27.
It's Casey Atwood.
Not sure what happened after that.
Kenseth get him from behind?
It looks like it, but I was just wondering why. Not sure if the 2 car maybe checked up a little bit because the 27 was getting, yeah, that's what it was. 27 was getting turned in front of the 2 car. The 2 car checked up, and I think the 17 ran the 2 car. I don't know. Well, 27 came down pretty hard on the 2 car.
Let's go on board with Boyer. Stanton Barrett is the lucky dog.
Okay, watch the 27. To your right. He gets turned right across in front of him.
I made a really bad noise.
And it's a bad feeling.
So Clint Boyer, obviously disappointed, sits in his car, currently 4th in the championship standings. We're under caution at Richmond. Tomorrow night, the 26th race of the season, the Chevy Rock and Roll 400. It will set the field for the chase for the Nextel Cup. Clint Boyer has been running at the end of 53 consecutive races. Right now, he is scored as off the track. Wimmer leads on the restart.
We'll see. Jay Sauter got a good start. Down on the bottom. See if he can make it work. Wimmer pulls ahead a little bit, going into 3. We'll hang on to that spot. Here comes Harvick. He'll wave as he goes by.
To second. On his way to first. Marty.
Scott Wimmer's going to do all he can to hold Kevin Harvick behind him, but on the restarts, Wimmer's car just will not go. He says the motor will not pull. He's doing the best he can, but he's going to have a hard time holding that 21 behind him.
Join the club. See ya. Tell you what, I'd want to be the sponsor on his back bumper because you're seeing a lot of that tonight.
Biffle's up to 3rd spot.
Menard runs 4th. Jay Sauter all the way back to 5th. Blaney up to the 8th position. There's Sauter and Ted Musgrave. Getting that 14 car tonight. And Blaney right behind him. And Blaney has a fast car and wants to go. Gonna get Jay here. He's got Matt Kenseth right behind him. Dave with more on Blaney.
And here's a big question on that last stop. They didn't make any changes to the race car to try to keep up with the racetrack, to try to make sure that they weren't off in some way. They left it just the way it was. 4 fresh tires, no changes for Blaney. We'll see if that car continues to be one of the fastest on the track.
This is the battle for second, Wimmer and the 16 of Biffle. And naturally you wonder about that because the car looked to be so good with just 2 tires. You really want to just put 4 on it and see what happens.
You would think. I mean, obviously they had to put 4 tires on. They got to put lefts on there one of these days. But
you might be afraid to make a chassis adjustment because it was running so well. See how that works out for Blaney. Biffle and Wimmer. Marty?
You guys wondering why Biffle tried 2 tires on that last stop?
I was just wondering that.
Well, I mean, on lap 1, they pitted on lap 148, so I think it was more of a matter of time than anything. They only had 22 laps on those left side tires, so all they needed really was just a little bit of fuel, so they didn't want to waste all that time on pit road, put 2 tires on it because they needed such a short amount of fuel, and that's all they needed. When that back out, obviously the car pretty fast, and the chassis-wise handling awfully well as well.
And you did that without a caution coming out.
I know, that's like 4 in a row for me, Weber. I don't know what's going on.
We'll figure it out. Blaney, Riggs, Kenseth. Matt Kenseth wants to get around Scott Riggs.
And he's got the spot.
You watch this and check with Dave.
in the 2 garage area, and I checked with Clint Boyer, asked him if he wanted to talk to us at all, and he said no. You know, he just kind of said it. What is there to say? The guys are working on the car. Bill, you mentioned how long it's been since these guys have fallen out of a race. They're going to try to repair this car. Lots of big parts going on the 2 car, and they will try to put Clint back in it, but very upset about what happened out there. He had a very strong race car.
And he's had a couple of these in recent weeks, Dave, and that makes you even more frustrated. And you know, while nobody's going to catch Harvick, you certainly want to finish, if not second, in the top 5 in the Busch Series points. And
no, that's really true, Bill. And consider this: when they started this race, they made a big change to this race car. They were very tight earlier in the day, and they took a big swing at it to loosen it up. And Dan Deringhoff, the crew chief, told me, hey, we hit it. We're actually surprised it's as good as it is. They made a great call, and now they're out of the race.
That's tough racing luck at Richmond, and we could see some of that tomorrow night. Kevin Harvick leads Greg Biffle by about a second with just 49 laps to go at Richmond. Under caution here at Richmond, our 12th caution brought out by Jerry Robertson.
Jerry, are you going to get hit?
Oh, my. Eric Amarola.
And he gets a good look at who did it.
Yep, so he knows.
Who to get back.
So there might be another caution. We'll have to wait and see. A handful of cars going to stop on pit road. The leaders stay out. We check with Marty.
Bill, I think it's safe to say Kevin Harvick's been pretty good tonight. Let's ask Shane Wilson, his crew chief. Can you keep everybody else behind you and Biffle those 2 tires?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few good cars behind us. They've been good all night, but as long as, you know, the car stays good on this run like it has all night, hopefully we'll be able to handle them. The Coast Guard Chevrolet's been good. Kevin and Billy have been doing a good job tonight, keeping us out of trouble, and we'll just hopefully we can bring it home.
Harvick's strength has been the old tire runs. He's been awfully good at the end of a run, Alan.
New man calling the shots for Paul Menard tonight on top of the pit box. It's Tony Uri Sr. You got your driver up in 3rd. Have you got a chance to get around the 2 in front of you?
Well, I think we can get to 16 for sure. 21, I don't know. Seems like he can run fast there at first start. You know, he kind of gets away, but I don't know whether we can run him down or not. But we can keep it green long enough we can get him, because we were 2 or 3 tenths better than him a while ago on that long run. So we just can't keep the green flag out for some reason tonight. But hey, we're going to try. Menard Chevrolet, and it's the first time I had a chance to work with these guys, and I've got a good group of guys right here. And, we'd like to go over and spray a little champagne here in a little bit if we can.
All right, we'll see if you get a chance in a little while. Dave?
And checking in now, the 32 crew chief, Trent Owens. Everyone was talking about having to beat Richard Childress Racing and Matt Kenseth, and then you guys show up with Dave Blaney in a pretty good race car, Trent.
Yeah, you know, everything's been going real well. We put this deal together, run part-time with Blaney in a few races, and so far, me and him's done a good job. We've had some good runs, but looks like tonight we're in for a top 5 finish if everything goes as planned. We had to use our set of tires up when we didn't want to. Now we got our last set on. The cautions kind of played in our favor, so we'll just see what we got. We don't have much for the 21, but 2nd, 3rd would sure be nice.
The hardest thing for Dave tonight is the 22 car is pitted right in front of him. They have to keep reminding him, Dave, you're in the 32 tonight. Don't stop too early. Matt?
Dave back on lap 200. The 17 team moved into 6th position. Jimmy, is the car gone tight again?
Yeah, this set of tires in up a little bit too tight. Matt's doing a great job, you know, out there where he kind of been messing them up in the pits here pretty bad, but that last set of tires just way too tight, so see what we get out of it.
Now the cars that pitted, they lost 5 spots on pit road. He says the car just way too tight in the center of the corner. Bill?
Thanks, guys. There have been 12 caution periods tonight. The record here at Richmond, 14. They had 13 in the spring race here. 40 laps to go. And Tony Sr. said it the best. We got something for the 16, but I don't think you're going to get that 21.
I think everybody realizes that.
These restarts at Richmond, there is something happening everywhere, brother.
The thing is, you can get 3 wide on a restart on the straightaways, but then you get down on the corners and really can't do it.
Wimmer and Kenseth. Blaney watches from right behind. This is for 4th. And there is a wad of cars right behind this group. Wimmer trying to hold off Kenseth. Matt trying to get down there in a tight race car. Little Robin.
Yeah, Wimmer's running that high line really good. And guys are talking about that second group coming in. Well, it's in. When you can run that good on the top.
Blaney can't decide who to follow. Marty.
Guys, I think he's running that high line because he has to. He came on the radio under the last caution, said, fellas, I just cannot get this car to cut in the middle of the corner. I'm not going to be able to protect the bottom, I can tell you that. So if we're going to pass anyone, it's going to have to be on the top side.
Kenseth hasn't been able to get it done yet. When you run that low line like that, you heat up the tires more.
And he's in a tight race car already.
Right. So he's just killing that right front right now. Trying to make a pass. In the meantime, Blaney's ready to go.
Yeah.
He just wants somebody to pass so he can try to get by both of them.
He's fallen 3 seconds behind Harvick, the race leader. Now Kenseth is going to fall in line for a moment, and Blaney's going to try and go down low, and we might have an issue.
Blaney checked up a little bit, saw Kenseth was going to try to get to the bottom again. Matt drove it in deep that time.
Wimmer lays off his bumper. Now here comes Reed Sorensen. Allen on the 41.
And Bill, we never had a chance to get this on earlier with all the different things that have been happening in this race. But back at lap 116 on his pit stop, Reed Sorensen was tagged.
We got 3 cars up in a wall, 4 cars in a wall up in 1 and 2.
They're still wrecking.
There's got to be some oil or something down in that corner the way they're still piling in there, huh, guys?
You would think.
Bernie Lamar
again
didn't want to miss anything.
Stacy Compton, you're mean. '36 car.
Timmy Sauter. All right, let's see if we can see what happens. 36 turns to 59. Stacy Compton. 36 then collects the 06.
Todd Cleaver. That's a hard hit, Stacy.
Took the rear wheels right off the racetrack when he hit.
Riding with Kyle Busch.
Good, nice job.
Very nice. By Leffler as well. That's the car of Todd Cleaver, being attended to by the safety crew here at Richmond. Oh, 13 caution flags, the same as they had in May. NASCAR Busch Series racing from the Richmond International Raceway on TNT is brought to you by Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities, get yours. By Haviland, use the oil engineered to go the distance. Haviland, race proven protection. By Craftsman. Craftsman tools are the official tools of NASCAR. Craftsman at Sears. And by Ruby Tuesday, simple, fresh American dining. Still under caution here at Richmond. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR, has teamed up with the Orange County Choppers to benefit the Victory Junction gang. If you like to win the bike, log on to victoryjunction.org and look for the camp sweepstakes or pick up entry materials at any of Sunoco's participating retailers. Downstairs to Dave Burns.
And Stacy Compton knows full well when there's only room for one car. I take it you believe that your car had the position?
Well, I ate it for the Kingsford Ford. The guys worked awful hard. We had a good race car, and we kept marching to the front. Every time we'd get a caution, we'd come in, get tires on, and we'd start marching to the front. And I don't know what happened. I just need to wait and see it, I guess. I think I know, but it's just a shame. I hate it. We had a good race car, and not meant to finish tonight.
All right, Stacy's car is here in the garage area, and taking a look at it now. He got it just too late for him to get a look at it, but obviously the 36 involved there, and Stacy lost that one, Bill.
Boy, you're not kidding. That's a hard hit, Dave. Frustrating year for Stacy. And a frustrating night. out of the race right now, scored in the 33rd spot. Well, Kevin Harvick has really put on a show tonight. Lights are out on the pace car. 1 to go. Down to Allen.
Just to finish telling that story about Reed Sorensen that I started to before the crash, Bill.
As you were saying.
Yeah, he got a pit road speeding penalty on his pit stop at lap 116. He went back to 32nd place. And all of these places he's picked up on the racetrack to get him up to where he is now in 7th, he's picked up on the racetrack. No strategy, no anything like that. He's passed all those cars on the speedway.
Think he got a little confidence after last week, despite the fact they ran out of fuel, Alan?
I think he's got a good race car underneath him is what he's got tonight, Bill. Confidence doesn't hurt anything, though, does it?
Sure doesn't. Put their guy up front of California last week. The Nextel Cup race didn't work out the way they hoped. All right, Harvick, Biffle, Menard, Kenseth, and Wimmer. Or Harvick and everybody else.
Pretty much looks like it tonight. Oh, again, is this a new record? We tied for the record now?
We just tied it. There's Leffler. Was Musgrave in that? There's Ashton Lewis.
These guys have had a brutal year.
Skinner.
I don't think so, but I'm coming to you.
I don't know if that's going to move too good. Another look.
We've seen a lot of this tonight. Guys just checking up in front, especially after a restart.
Wow.
And then guys just running over each other.
Skinner got tattooed a couple of times in there. 25 of Ashton Lewis Jr. Boy, he's 15th in the championship standings and really not much to show for all their hard work this season. The previous caution, Todd Cleaver in the 06, treated and released from the infield care center. Skinner's car. Ashton Lewis. Fans, be sure to race to your mailbox and find your blue Valpak envelope full of savings and a chance to win the VIP Grandstand Getaway. Valpak, there's something in it for you. Our 14th caution period. That ties the record here at Richmond. And we might not be done. Kevin Harvick, he finishes 40th or better tomorrow night. Clinches a spot in the chase for the Nextel Cup. His first time in it. His Richard Childress Racing teammate Jeff Burton needs to have a little better night. But that's tomorrow. Harvick's still trying to get it done tonight, Alan.
Now, Bill, let's talk about tomorrow just for a minute, about Kevin Harvick. I spoke with him at length earlier this afternoon about trying to clinch his place in the chase. And although it's 40th or better for Harvick tomorrow night to be in the championship, he says that this last month or so, this last couple of months, has been very nerve-wracking. While a lot of people have tried to downplay the pressure of trying to make the chase for the Nextel Cup among drivers when they're interviewed and they speak in public, Harvick told me today that he said it really has been stressful. You're just afraid of having that one hiccup, making that one mistake that ruins an entire season's worth of work. I asked him if he'll be paying attention tomorrow night to his situation when cars fall out of the race and what he needs to do to be clinched. He said, not at first, but it won't take long.
Yeah, like lap 2, you think?
Yeah, maybe a little bit farther than that.
And we've been talking about that. We had some fun with it last week about them all putting on the happy faces. And we're like, I know better. I know what these guys are feeling like, and they're feeling the pressure. That's all they think of, because that's all people ask them.
And just talking to some of the guys in the garage, it's not only the drivers, but it's the crew guys as well. And as one guy was telling me, no matter how hard you work on what you're doing and you're not thinking about it, it's still in the back of your mind, just rattling around back there. You can hear it almost 24/7.
There's going to be a lot of guys relieved after tomorrow night, whether in or not. They're just going to be glad it's over, so they can go and have fun the last 10 races.
And Go ahead. And this is the perfect track, really, for the 26th race because it has all the excitement of a short track. It likes to think it's a super speedway. There's enough room to race, but it's tight enough where there's still plenty of excitement.
I agree. I think this is a perfect spot for it. It creates a lot of excitement, like you said, Bill, and I think these guys, most of these drivers, like that it is the last race to make the chase.
Lights are out on the pace car, going green next time. First, let's check with Marty.
We'll get the green with 20 to go. Let's ask Eddie Pardue if Greg Biffle can pass that 21 car.
Well, the high-level Ford Fusion's pretty good here at the end of the race, but I don't know. That 21's pretty good, but knowing Greg Biffle, he's going to give it all.
Biffle said the bigger question might be whether he can hold that 11 behind him or not.
That's a good point.
And that's unusual coming from Marty.
You know, something else we'll be talking about tomorrow night is that Casey Kane with those 5 wins.
Yeah.
If he misses the chase.
Yeah. Guy that wins 5 races should be in automatic.
I agree. Here we go. 20 to go in the Busch race. Harvick out front. Denny Hamlin steps out of line in a hurry. Menard looked to the inside of Biffle. Here comes Blaney in that 32. Blaney can get a good jump. He might have something, but he's only got 20 to go to get there. And he's not getting a really good jump. Sorensen has him pinned down.
I think Blaney's car looked like it was working a little bit better when he was running that high groove.
On board, Hamlin looking forward at Blaney and Sorensen.
You get around that bottom, you got to be good right through the center. You got to be able to make up all your time right here, so when you get off the corner, you're at least side by side with the guy. What's happening now, he's getting off the corner, and the guy he's racing is pulling away from him, getting off the corner. So Dave's car is just not getting through the center the way it needs to pass these guys running that bottom line.
The 25 of Ashton Lewis has gone behind the wall. Kenseth working over the 11 of Menard. Hamlin's in this mix, Dave.
And they ran this car earlier in the year at Phoenix and Richmond, Bill, but it was not good. They tore the whole thing down. In fact, crew chief Dave Rogers and the crew chief for other crew chief for Joe Gibbs Racing, Jason Ratcliffe, spent 3 days on the Trable trying to work on their short track program. They put this car back together again, changed the suspension geometry, and it's run very well for Denny ever since, including tonight here at Richmond.
In their 3rd spot, Kenseth is trying to take it away from Paul Menard in that 11 car. Both driving in deep. Kenseth trying to roll through the center, but there again, that 11 just getting off the corner a little bit better, Matt.
Well, into the last caution, Matt told Jimmy Fennick he felt like these cautions late could actually be a benefit for the way his car is handling. Gives him an opportunity to go on some short runs. The car seems to get a little more grip after each caution when the tires pulled out. He had 3rd, then lost it. Right now he's trying to get it back, diving underneath the 17.
Menard's got to be careful. He went in too high that lap. And Kenseth just worked and worked and worked and worried him in the mirror, and Paul just went in the corner a little bit too high.
Looks like Jerry Robertson went in the corner a little too high too. They stay under green. And Menard really has come on, especially the second half of this season. But that's the experience of Kenseth working on a guy that doesn't have as much seat time.
Yeah, I agree, and I think, like I said, it just looked like he turned in. His line getting into 1 was just a little bit too high, and he couldn't get the car down, and Kenseth was there. There's Wimmer running that high line, trying to keep Sorensen behind him. I don't know if he will be able to, but Wimmer's done a good job tonight.
Boy, it's been fun to watch. Good for him. Reed underneath.
Great qualifying run in the Cup car today.
Outstanding. Starts in the top 10. Up front, Harvick by about 6 seconds over Biffle. Nothing happening there. This is for 5th. Sorensen has it. Then Wimmer, and then on board with Hamlin. And Hamlin's going to get a position, it looks like. Allen?
And Bill, they continue to regroup on this 41 team. Reed Sorensen picked by many to be a championship contender at the start of this season, running double duty both the Nextel Cup and Busch Series this year. but the first half of their year just did not go well. They made some progress around mid-season on their cars. Now Sorensen comes into this race with a pretty good run over the summer and is looking for another top 5 here tonight to go with a couple of second-place finishes he's had in Indianapolis and Phoenix.
And Alan, it's hard to remember. You got to keep reminding yourself he's young.
Yeah, very, very young. In fact, Reed is just 20 years old. And for a kid to have that much talent at that young an age says the future is bright. I don't know about you, but when I was 20 years old, I wasn't at the top level of my profession yet.
No, sir.
Yeah.
And you still aren't, Alan, but...
not as long as I'm working with you, Wally. Oh!
Good job, AB.
Hamlin is trying, but I'll tell you, Wimmer has been really tough on that. Oh, and Hamlin slips a little bit. The 3 wide getting off the 2.
Oh, this is fun. Blaney inside.
Wow, Blaney slides up the racetrack. Good job keeping it off the 66 car.
Blaney's now going to try him inside again, Marty.
And Wimmer is in survival mode. Remember, they haven't pitted since lap 148. Those tires are very old. He has a tight race car, no grip out there. He told the crew a little while ago, guys, I'm sorry, I just can't keep up with these guys.
He's doing a good job. This is for 7th. Harvick has pulled out to an 0.8 of a second lead over Biffle. Then it's another 3 seconds back to Kenseth in 3rd.
Just good racing right here. Dave runs up the track a little bit. Just enough for Wimmer to have to just crack out the throttle a little bit. But hey, 5 laps to go, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep. Blaney gets the position. Wimmer falls back a spot. He's had a good night. Looks forward to tomorrow. But this guy, with all due respect to his sponsor, smooth sailing throughout the night with that Coast Guard Reserve Chevrolet.
This will give him about a 9,000 point lead going into the next race.
3 to go. Of the last 800 laps in the Nextel Cup Series, okay, at Richmond, so the last 2 races here, Harvick has led 439 of the 800 laps in the last 2 Cup races, and he's looking forward to tomorrow night and might have some momentum going in there, Marty.
Just a little bit of momentum, and Wally was talking about that championship lead coming into the night. It was 567 points over 2nd place. That is 12 points shy of the biggest lead ever in the Busch Series. So I'm glad Harvick led the most laps tonight because he really needs those points, didn't he, Wally?
Yeah, Marty, he will have the record before the year's over, I believe, by a long ways. We have 10 races to go.
Something else for him to chase. Last lap here at Richmond for the NASCAR Busch Series. Harvick off of 2. Has to get through 3 and 4. He's going back to victory lane. Kevin Harvick wins at Richmond.
Off the car. Thank you.
Biffle, Kenseth, Menard, Sorensen, Hamlin, Blaney, Wimmer, Edwards, and Riggs, the top 10. What do you ask him in victory lane?
What's that?
What do you ask him in victory lane? How was your car? Well,
yeah.
Let's start with Marty and the crew chief.
I think you ask him about this undefeated race car. 3 races for this car, Shane. 3 wins. Can you take it everywhere you go?
No, it's definitely a short track car, but I just got to thank everybody at RCR for helping us build this car, and everyone, you know, it's a little bit different. We worked really hard to just make a really good short track car, and it worked out.
Obviously so. I think you're in the lead in the Busch Series point standings, too.
I think so.
Just by a little bit. Kevin Harvick with his 3rd straight Richmond win, Bill.
The NASCAR.com Superstore invites you to save 10% right now on its entire selection of merchandise. To get your discount, just enter promo code TNT when you check out. The biggest season-ending point margin in the NASCAR Busch Series between 1st and 2nd, 616 points. That was in 2000 when Jeff Green beat Jason Keller.
619 now.
So it's 3 points bigger than the all-time biggest margin.
With a lot of racing to go.
Yeah, there's a lot to go. Green had
7
a record
to go.
25 top 5 finishes that year. So Kevin Harvick's hunting for victory lane. 3rd straight win in the NASCAR Busch Series for Harvick. Ties the record held by Harry Gant. Not bet Harry's watching tonight. Marty, you doing something down there?
I've caught up with Biffle, who finished his 2nd tonight. You told me slowly through the field was the key, but you fell back as far as 34th one time. How slowly did you have to go through the field?
It wasn't very slow tonight. You know, the Merrick, the high-level Warehouser car was really good. You know, and Eddie and all the guys just did a great job on this pit crew. I'm just so happy that this team's come together like this. We're having great runs in the Busch Series. We took 2 tires and just couldn't beat Harvick with 4. You know, I'm sure. I mean, you can always say after the fact, I'm pretty sure we'd have been able to do something with him with 4 tires, but with 2, I just couldn't quite get there. And just, you know, excited for everybody who's helping me on this Busch thing, AmeriQuest and Cub Cadet, everybody. It's been a fun year in the Busch Series, and hopefully a few more runs like this.
You got the sponsor right, and he finishes 2nd tonight. Matt?
And Matt Kenseth. Lap 5 had a flat tire. Nice way to bounce back, Matt. Did the late runs or the cautions help you?
It helped us because we had something with that last set of tires. It just it was turning pretty good most of the night, and it was super tight, and the tires just chattered even under yellow. So in the short run, my tires would kind of gain some grip, and I could run, you know, 7 or 8 or 9 laps, you know, pretty respectable, and then just start pushing. So Jimmy did a great job with his car. You know, we didn't have it as good as we needed. We weren't as good as a 21 no matter what, but we still got a good finish out of it.
Such an impressive run. His 7th top 3 finish in 14 starts here at Richmond. Alan?
4th place tonight was Paul Menard. Nice drive up from 16th place, Paul.
Thank you. You know, the car was a little bit tight all night, all during practice, all through qualifying. So pretty happy with 4th place. First 10 laps or so, it really could not get going, but after about 20 laps, probably the fastest car on the track. It really set sail then, but just didn't nose off like everybody else. But, you know, hats off to Pops and everybody on this Menards team to, you know, totally change the car over and get it running pretty good.
A 4th place run tonight for Paul Menard. 3rd straight top 10 here at Richmond. Bill?
Thanks, Alan. Kevin Harvick with his 23rd NASCAR Busch Series win takes sole possession of 4th place all time behind Mark Martin, Jack Ingram, and Tommy Houston. And he's celebrating a win in Richmond tonight. Here's Dave Burns.
And you've mentioned it already, ties handsome Harry Gant for 3 in a row here. 4 other drivers who have swept the season here at Richmond. Pretty good night for you.
Yeah, this U.S. Coast Guard Reserve Chevrolet was really awesome. Got to thank Richard Toccato, Snap-on, everybody that's a part of our Busch program. This thing was awesome tonight. Hate it for Jeff Burton. Their car was really good, but once they had the trouble, we were pretty much on it.
You came in as the favorite. Everyone was gunning for you. Everyone knew they had to go through you, and you guys came through.
Well, that's hard to do. I mean, in this sport, the Busch Series and the Cup Series are so tough, and everybody runs so good. To have a car like we had tonight was obviously a lot of fun to drive, but this thing is 3 for 3. It hasn't lost a race, so this thing right here is doing a job, and I'm just getting to ride it.
Now, Shane already told Marty that you can't take this everywhere, so I'm sorry, this is only a short track car. And Richard Childress coming in now.
You told me to give you a kiss. But
whoa, okay.
Yeah, easy on that now.
Delaney, you want to come in and give him a kiss? Because that's okay.
That's why can't we take this everywhere?
Well, Shane said you couldn't, so y'all have to discuss that.
All right, well, we're going to have to get some stuff straightened out.
We talked about
Thunder style.
We talked about you tying a few people here, Harry Gant and 4 other drivers. As far as Richmond goes, no driver has ever won the NASCAR Busch Series Championship and the Nextel Cup Championship in the same season. And tomorrow, you look a little forward toward that.
Well, tomorrow's obviously a pretty stressful night. You know, we got to finish 39th or better and do what we need to do in our Jim Goodwin Chevrolet. So hopefully we can accomplish that and get down to racing for a championship. Hopefully after tomorrow night we can all breathe easier.
And when you run well in this car, I mean, does that take the weight off today?
Well, I mean, it gives you something to do while you don't have time to sit around and worry about what's going on the Cup car. So you got time to relax and come over here, and you know, fortunate that the point lead over here we can go for wins and race as hard as we can. So it is a stress reliever.
They went for it. They got it. Now go get your kiss. Kevin Harvick in victory lane again at Richmond. Alan.
Well, with all due respect to the winner, this guy gets my nod for racer of the night. Reed Sorensen, you were back in 32nd at lap 116 after a penalty and raced your way to 5th. What a night.
Yeah, it was a longer night than we had wanted. We had a really good car. I don't think it was good enough to win, but good enough to run top 5, and the guys really had really good stops all night long, and I just messed up there leaving pit road. Having that second stall, I just gunned it and went as fast as I could, and they caught us for speeding. So I haven't got caught too many times, so I told the guys I'd do the best I could to get back up front, and they gave me 2 more really good stops, and we got up to 5th.
How many cars do you think you passed tonight on the racetrack? Because it must have seemed like a lot.
Well, hopefully we won't have to pass as many tomorrow night. It'd be nicer to get up front and stay up there, but it's a lot of fun racing here. Most of the guys race really clean, and definitely 2 grooves of racing here, and it's a lot of fun. And finally got another top 5 for my sponsor, Discount Tire, and the Busch team. Those guys worked really hard, and I really like this track. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be really exciting tomorrow.
We'll keep an eye out for you then. Thanks, Reed. 5th place for Reed Sorensen, Bill.
Thanks, Alan. Kevin Harvick's 5th win of the season. He has 17 top 5s and 24 top 10s. Amazing. Good run by Blaney. Big night for Biffle. Carl Edwards got him a top 10. Scott Riggs continues to show form second half of this season. Danny O'Quinn, top 15 finish. 27 cars finish on the lead lap here at Richmond tonight.
Lots of yellows tonight. Lots of bent race cars.
Tied the record for cautions at Richmond with 14 of them. 619. So does Harvick run all the races, all the Busch races?
He doesn't have to.
Right.
That's for sure, but he will.
But if he gets like neck and neck for the championship in the Cup Series?
Yeah, he will. It's too much fun winning races. I mean, if he's out there with a car like that, he's having a great time. So, sure, why not? Why not rub it in a little bit more?
He's definitely having a great time. Tomorrow night, we will decide the field for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Chase for the championship. We'll bring you all the drama on TNT starting at 7 p.m. Eastern with the Bank of America Countdown to Green. Next on TNT in the East, Clint protects the president from being in the line of fire. And out west, it's the original Law and Order.
They were all hoping for Kill Bill, but that's not on just
your favorite, isn't it?
My favorite.
Big night here at Richmond. The fans came out on just a spectacular night. The rain held off, but there was plenty of thunder and lightning here at Richmond. 250 laps for the Busch Series. Kevin Harvick was the class of the field and goes to victory lane for the 5th time this season. Tomorrow night for 100 laps. And when we're done, we'll have the field set for the chase for the Nextel Cup. See you tomorrow at 7 Eastern on TNT.